Greetings, 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 everyone. Steve, Paracords of Kindness. How you doing today? Hopefully your evening's been happy. Okay, what I have for you today is I'm going to show you how I set up a 4-strand core with an offset working end. Okay, if you don't know what I mean by all that, basically what it is this. Normally when we set up our core strands, no matter 2, 4, 6, whatever, in a normal situation, you would have all your excess at the top coming off both ends. You would have 2 working ends that get woven down the core strands to form a bracelet. There are some bracelets that aren't woven that way. Basically, when you set up your core strand, what you end up doing is you set it up in such a way that all your excess or your slack comes on one end, and you have an offset working end where all the slack is on that one side, not both sides. Make sense? This one, I'm going to be real short, brief, show you the overs and the unders, the shallow cut version, right? If you want the deep cut version, where I give a little bit more commentary and kind of explain everything, check that out. There'll be, as always, in the description, there will be a link to my core strand setup playlist. You can go there and find it. It'll be labeled just like this, how to set up a 4-strand core with an offset working end, but it'll say deep cut, right? Okay, now, with that said, let's get started. This is not much different than setting up a normal full core strand, except instead of starting in the middle of our cord and hitching, and then working our way our core strands out to each side, what we do is we start on one side and we work all the way across. That's the only difference. And I'm going to just show you how to do this. Because some people, I know when I started, this was always confusing to me, to try to do this, or whatever, as opposed to doing it the normal way. I say normal, but because most bracelets have 2 working ends. This one, or the way you set this up for certain bracelets, it's only on one side. And you can just work your way across. I mean, I'll show you. It's not complicated. If you stop and think about it, you can figure, if you know how to do a 4-strand cord, you can figure this out. It's not really hard, but I'll just show you for anybody who might get confused or anything like that. Okay, first thing you do is take one end of your cord. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, I don't have this measured out to anything like that. I'm going to just show you the overs and the unders. Okay, take your working end. You start at the top of your jig, at the top of the buckle, and you go down through the slot. Now, I'm going to start on this right side, and I'm going to work your way across. You can do it either way, but just remember, if I start on this side, all my slack excesses, the working end is going to be on this side. If I start on this side and go the other direction, it's all going to be on this side. And it doesn't matter. We're getting out of focus. It doesn't matter. Just be mindful of that. Okay, the way I do this, I usually leave some slack. And you've seen my videos, you've heard me talk about the little knot I put at the top. And I say, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch some of my core strand setups. But this is that little knot. I'll show you right here. This is going to be the core strand. This is the excess. Like I said, you go through the slot and out. Okay, you take this little excess, you go over the top. Here, let me zoom in just a little bit so maybe this can be seen a little bit better. Yeah, that'll work. Take the excess, you go over the top, and then you go back through it. And it's basically an overhand knot. You pull your slack through. Now, I'll say this. This is about the only commentary you're going to get right here. I'll say this. When I do this, I know some people, they'll cut and they'll burn it right there. Me, I don't like doing that. I want my cut and burns on the back side, or the non-display side of the bracelet. So I'm going to leave enough room right here that I can, at the end, after I've woven the bracelet and everything's done, I can come back with my fid and attach it. And there's enough length of this cord in relation to the length of my fid that I can fold it back over itself and weave it in there. weave it up under something. Does that make sense? That's why I'm going to leave that kind of long like that. Okay, but that's it. Okay, now what we do, that would be normally where one working end is, right? But we're going to do it offset, like I said. So what we do is we take our cord, we find the end of it. We're going to go to the bottom buckle. We're going to go down through the slot, and we're going to pull our excess through. And all we're going to do is we're going to do a cow hitch, but we're going to weave it from one side to the other, right? Instead of, it'll make sense. So we come up this way. We're going to take our cord, and we're going to cross over the top of that core strand. Right. Now, we're going to take the end. This time we're going to come up through the bottom of the buckle. Pull out our slack, and this is going to, all this excess is going to form a loop. Every time we do this, it's going to form this loop. Right? Be mindful of your twist. Now this loop, you're going to take your working end and you're going to run it through this loop. And pull your slack down. Now like I said, I'm not going to talk about tightening it up and sizing and all that. If you want to see all that, it's in the other video. I'm just giving you basically the overs and the unders. See, and what we've just done is we've made a cow hitch, and we've done it from one side to the other, as opposed to running both cords through there and running them through the loop. That's all this is. And we're just going to do that, you know, back and forth until we get to this end, right? Okay, now we take the end of the cord, and we're going to do that same process, but we're going to do it up here at the top of the buckle. So we're going to go through the slot, from the top through the slot toward the bottom of the buckle. We're going to pull our slack through. Okay, now what we have is our second core strand. That's 2 out of 4. Okay, now to do the hitch up here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the end of our cord, and we're going to split the rails and come up between these two and pull our slack through. Now, take our working end. We're going to go across the top of that strand. And basically, all we're doing is forming another cow hitch up here. Right? Now, this one, we're going to do just like we did down here. We're going to come through the bottom of the buckle and up through the slot. And again, we're going to have this loop. All this is this loop. Pull it through. See how there's a loop? Mindful of your twist. Get your twist out. And we're just going to run through this loop. See? And we just created another cow hitch. Now we're going to do it one more time down here at the bottom. Excuse me. Find the end. Again, from the top down through the slot. Right? I'm going to pull the excess through. Okay. We're going to get our working end. And again, we're going to split the rails. But this time, make sure you do it in the correct place. Always in relation to the cord that you're moving, the direction you're moving. So we're going to come up through here. And we're going to go over the top, like we did on all the rest of them. We're going to go over the top of that core strand. Right? Find the end. And now we're going to come from the bottom up through the slot toward the top of the buckle. And again, we're going to have this excess that's going to form a loop. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, when you do this, to make a bracelet, you're going to have 10 feet, 12 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet, whatever cord, and you're going to be pulling. So be mindful. You're going to have all this excess, you know. Be mindful of it. And don't let it get tangled. Don't let it get knotted up or whatever. See, now we got the loop. And we're just going to take our end, and we're going to go back through that loop. And we're going to pull our excess through. Now, if you look, it's not tight, but if you look, you have your cow hitch on this side, and we have our cow hitch on this side. Double cow hitch here, and we have the one cow hitch here with the funny knot we started at. Now all we're going to do to finish this is do this knot again. We're going to take our end, and we're going to go through the top of the buckle, down through it, to the bottom, and we're going to pull our excess out. Now again, all we're going to do is take our end, and that strand we're working with, we're just going to cross it over the top, and we're going to go right up under it. And basically we're going through this loop again, and you pull out your excess. You see, now you have this same knot that you had on this side, you have one on this side. Make sense? Now, like I said, I'm not going to tighten it up. I'm not going to show you how to measure it or anything like that. This is basically the over and under, the shallow cut version. If you want to know all that, like I said, in the description below, there's a link to my core strand setup playlist. And the deep cut version of this, with all the commentary and how I do everything, more detailed, will be in there. Check that playlist out. But with that, I'll be done. And I'll end this like I end them all. Keep it neat, keep it clean, and keep it tight. Happy weaving, folks.